Hey there friends, this is Andrew, welcome to the Scrap Box, and today we are making a Dieselpunk train engine. As you can probably remember from last week, we made some passenger cars, tried to light them up, and it didn't turn out so well, so this time we're going to start on a better foot. Today I'm going to actually use a Lego brand 9-volt train motor rather than something I made myself, because I think this will give us a better connection. I'll also be using 2 extra wheels just like that, and our train's only going to be about this long. It's going to be quite small, quite short, quite cute. Now for the engine, we want this to move as freely as possible, which means instead of double stacking these on top of each other, I'm going to give it a little extra space. We don't want to interfere with that at all. I'm just going to take this one, put it right there, and I've got a set for this one too, and that allows them to move with the least amount of friction as possible. I do want a smooth transition from the back of the train though, so I'm going to take this little curved piece, I guess it's an inverted slope, and 2 1x1s and a 2x3 brick, and just put that on just like that, create a bit of a caboose for our engine. Now what I've done here is I've already made a little custom base for this. That's right, we're not using a standard 20-something wide base. This will be 18 studs wide, which means it'll be super compact, but still looks like it packs a punch. While the back looks a little bare at first, we're going to focus on the front, and we're going to make a nice little bumper in case, it runs into anything. We've got some 2x2 bracket pieces. I guess that's what you would call them. And we've got not 1, not 2, not 3, but you guessed it. What comes after 3? 72, but also the number 4. And I'm just gonna put those here, 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 and here. And if you look, it's just enough where it doesn't interfere with the movements. I've also got these nice curves. These are 1x3 curved pieces and a little 2x2 plate in the middle, and that's just going to be stuck right up here on front, thus completing our bumper. Look at that. Now I've decided to leave these just as studs because I like the more industrial look, but let me know in the comments if I should continue the curve around the sides. Speaking of curves, this train is going to have a lot of them. However, I think it's about time we start with the wiring because I want there to be a lot of lights in this train, and if I don't do it now, I'll have to take apart the train. You probably remember the excess of wires from last week. Well, I've gotten everything into this one little 2x4 brick. I've also rewired one of these because their wiring crumbles over time. And this has to go right there, which is why I have holes right here. So this is gonna go right there. And now I've just gotta put these up through the middle, and I'm gonna pause so I don't embarrass myself on camera. Chains of plans. It's not going through these holes, it's gonna come up through here because otherwise it becomes a very stiff connection and this cannot turn. Mid-plan change. This did not want to turn while this was on here, so now I've shifted everything over one. Alright, wires are adjusted. Now I just have to turn this mess into the perfect mess. Alright, that was frustrating, but it's done. I did try to buy some heat shrink tubing, but even the smallest kind that they had at the store was not small enough for this. So back to the electric tape for now. Basically what this does is the wheels get power from the tracks, and it siphons some of the power up here, which is going to power LED lights. Now that that's taken care of, let's actually work on the rest of this train. So I've got this piece right here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to build up the front a little bit. I'm going to take that. I'm also going to take a 1x6, and I'm going to put that on top for reasons you'll understand in a second. Let's make this front look nice. I'm just going to take some little grate tiles and put it right here. And one of the big functions of Dieselpunk is they have these nice big curved fronts. So that's what we are going to try to make. I've got this snot brick right here that I'm just going to place like that. Nice little grate. And a huge curve right there. And we're just going to repeat the process on this side. There we go. I want to focus on here, something I neglected to do when I designed this. Hopefully it's going to be a lot easier if I just build everything up instead of the front, the back, and then the middle, which was a nightmare. I'm going to build out where the conductor sits, the conductor cab, if you will. And first we've got to build up the side, so I have this 1x2 Technic brick with a hole in the middle and two 1x2 plates. I'm just going to have one of those on this side, and if I can find it, one on the other side. Uh-oh, I didn't break anything, I promise. Actually, here's a fun fact for you. Most Lego bricks either have a little hollow circular stud in the center. Sometimes it's filled in, but they used to not even be circles. This really old one has a rectangle in the middle. It's also got that cool retro Lego logo on it. Let's build this nice platform with a 6x6 plate. I'm just gonna pop that on. Hopefully everything's gonna join nicely. That looks very nice indeed. So now we've got a place for the conductor to sit. We've got a big engine and then a smooth front. Okay, there are two things I want to show you, and I want to show you them in rapid succession. So the first thing is I've got this giant headlight piece that I've made using some Technic bricks, 1x2 plates, a cone, and a 3x3 dish, and that is going to sit nicely right here in the front. And by nicely, I mean, yeah, nicely. There we go. And also, I'm not going to take this apart because it was a pain to put together. I have a giant engine. Now, these are made out of huge Lego wheels, some tubes, some trans orange 2x2 round bricks, and then little gold wheels in the back. And why is it gold? Well, you probably remember from last week, our train was red, green, and gold highlights with a mixture of black within, and we could find the black here, we could find the red. There's no green in this one, as you can remember, I was out of green. And so there will be a lot of gold, and this is going to sit right about here. But let's do ourselves a favor and wire around it first. Alright, that was an incredible pain, but what we're going to do is we're going to test and see if that actually lights up or if I've destroyed the wiring. So I've got one side, I've got two sides. Let's power this on. And would you look at that, we've got one light, two lights, and three lights. Now the hard part about making a pretend engine is the fact that it's pretend and you don't know what's going to be on here to make it look real enough. But we can at least make it look fancy by putting some grates on the side. With these little nozzles, it appears like this engine is being fed some fuel or something like that. I almost completely forgot that this is entirely empty back here, so let's fill that up with some tanks. Now what I've got are these little rocket booster tanks. And they'll fit in just like that, and I'll put one on the other side. These were made by 3x3 dishes, 2x2 columns, and a 2x2 dome piece. I will say, we are going to have to see this wire on the outside. Is it pretty? No, but hiding it is going to make it very hard for this to turn freely. Okay, conductor's cabin. First thing it needs is a little ladder so it can climb down. It also needs a nice perimeter for when we tile the inside. So I've decided I am going to put some little decals over there, and I'm going to use this 1x6 Technic piece. This is going to go right up here. I've got 1x1 gold studs to go in on either side. One. Nice view of my thumbs. Two. And this extra gold wheel with a Technic piece to attach. I think that fills up down there a lot nicer. Originally, I had thought to put a giant red box here, but with all the gold decals, I thought that wouldn't be fancy enough. So instead, I've got these grates, and they're just gonna go on the side like this, and on that side too. Because we're loving the gold greeblies, I've designed these for the back, just little handles. Perfect. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch from back here, up here again, and we're gonna build the rest of this curve. Okay, well we know that the center is black, so let's keep that black with a 1x4 brick. I'm just gonna stick that on right there. we're gonna put a little 1x4 tile on top of that. Not a tile, a plate on top of that. What I've designed here are 1x2 Technic bricks with some plates in the middle, tiled off at the top. And then I've got a little dome piece and a 1x1 cylinder. And these are gonna be secondary and tertiary lights. Is that how you say the third? That's just gonna go like that. Now I think having all 3 lights lit up might be too much, so I'm just gonna have this light and the second light lit up. Could have easily made it the 3rd light. It would have been much simple to wire this through. Alright, I've got the lights in there and I cut out all the parts where I cried, so we're good to go. So let's add a little extra slope right there, just, you know, kind of angle things off. I of course have some 1x2 inverted slopes that I'm just gonna place here. And here. I also think it'd be nice if it started to curve in the top, and we can do that with this set of pieces. There's 4 pieces here. We got an inverted curve slope, and then 2 regular curve slopes that nestle in perfectly together, and a 1x2 plate. And we could just have that rest right on there. Oh, look at that perfection. Well, okay, let me squeeze it in, and then we can look at that perfection. Look at that perfection. Now to build the rest of this curve, I've made this strange little clip piece. It doesn't make sense now. You're gonna see something clips in later. All right, now we can continue this curve. I've got some more big curves right here and right there. And the classic Dieselpunk curve front is slowly taking form. I can take this mudguard piece right here with a 1x2 brick and a 1x2 plate. Stick it right on top, and finish the front. New problem. The front's really tall, which means the cabin in the back needs to be able to see through the front, which means it must be really tall. So I've made a sort of step. It's about a brick tall with tiling on the top, and that's gonna fit right in there. I'm gonna try to squeeze this down without breaking it off camera. That was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, cool. One of my favorite little builds I like to do is I like to take a 2x2 dish, hold this close, a 1x1 stud, wow, put it together. There we go, whew! Rocket science over here, and a chair. And you make a little pivoting chair, and that can be bolted right into the center of this platform. Excellent. I'm gonna take some 1x6 plates on the sides and a 1x4 brick for the center. In a game I like to play, we're adding height until it feels right. Some issues arising are as if the train's this tall, what's gonna go on in here? I also happen to have a bunch of these gold mech pieces. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to fold this right there nicely and take up that extra space. I'm gonna do that by placing a 2x10 plate across the whole section, and I've put these little pipes on the side just for added decor. So let's have this one right there, I think looks good. And then will it all clip together? It should. Oh, I think that's off by 1, let me fix it. That went together remarkably well. I need some control panels up here, so I'm gonna wiggle the camera. Now I'm gonna put 1x1 square studs, and then 2 control panels. 1, and you guessed it, number 2. And now the driver will have something to see as they drive. I think this is a great point for a little structure to come from here to here. So what I'm gonna do is I have another inverted slope that goes just like that. And I've already built this portion. It is just 1x plates with tiles on top. And can I piece it together nicely? I can. And then of course there'll still be a gap up there. Now, if you're like me, you're looking at this giant blank space and you're going, something's gotta go there. And something shall. A whole 1x2 brick. And we're done. Except for these snot pieces. And these gray pieces. That helps fill in some of the blank space that you'll see beneath and above, but it's not enough. We've got to add more. We just have to create an Ark of the Covenant type top to it and place that smack dab right there. It's not enough, which is why we're going to connect these terrifying spider legs on a broomstick to each side. There were always 4 on each side, I promise. There was not. There was 5. And I don't know how I messed that up. There's now 4 on each side. And now for these blank spaces, I have some extra little power cores. They're just gonna fit in there, and one's gonna light up with that LED. Got that first one in there, and a second one. Good. Let's finish up this cabin. We're gonna give it some nice windows. Now, I've been tempted, I just broke that piece. I've been tempted to put some stickers that make it look like a curve, but I just haven't had the time. So we're just gonna have them on there blank for now. Get that LED out of the way, put that other one on there. We've got a blank spot back here. So what I've done is I've made these little poles out of cones. 1, 2. We need some windows. Now I do have these old-fashioned windows, and they do go with the train cart windows. And I can fit them right up here, but uh-oh. Probably noticed these don't align, so let me fix that real quick. Now the conductor can look through these tiny windows forward. They do have to look past these gold spider pieces, but what can you do? I'm also using this window as a great opportunity to hide that wire and bring it into the cabin. Let's add a couple more control panels. Is this focused at all? Man, I'm gonna be so sad if this whole video is not focused. Anyways, that goes here. Nice. All right, only 2 more big pieces. I've got this long top piece that should snap perfectly into place. Very good. Got these tiny little slopes. We're gonna have a door that leads to the back. Excuse me, wires. And I've made this little top section. It should all fit together. And there you have it. You have a Dieselpunk train engine that should light up when it's on. Fingers crossed. I have wrapped the extra wire in the back, and let's cross our fingers. That's backwards. Now, it's not going to start up on low voltage because I have the lights powered so they can go full 9 volts, so let's see what happens. Ooh, very nice. Now you'll notice we still have that flickering effect a little bit, but not nearly as much as with the other train engine. This should also slow down a lot once it's connected to these. You ever look at stuff you did 5 years ago and cringe with embarrassment? That's me, except with things that I did a week ago. Anyways, I fixed all the wiring. Now it's no longer haphazardly glued in there. It's actually clipped in there. We've got 3 lights here. We've got 1, 2, and 3 in there. And we even have 2 extra lights. And this is what the train looks like all lit up. I have to say, pretty impressed with myself. It's all together. Let's see it move. There we go. The lights are on. You can see it through the tunnel. That's cool. Let's get a view from over here. Oh, love it. Now, like I said, there are 2 more lights in the back, so I'm trying to decide, does it need like a caboose or just something in the back? I also need to figure out a name for this, so tell me if you have any ideas. This has been the Scrap Box. I'm Andrew. Make sure to like, subscribe, and all that other fun stuff. You have a great day. I'm gonna see you next week, but first, I've really got to clean the Lego room. Bye.